Resident Evil is one of those games that define the standard of the survival horror genre, being one of the most influential and successful entities in that space. The video games have expanded into movies, novels, and comics, most of whom have been quite successful on their own. The main characters of the game, especially Jill Valentine, are considered among the most iconic in all of video gaming. Resident Evil Death Island is the latest release in the successful animated Resident Evil series, and in this video, we discuss the enemies that appear in this movie. Zombie soldiers. We first encounter zombie soldiers at the start of the Raccoon City incident, when Dylan, JJ, and others are trying to extract people who have been trapped. Everyone except for Dylan and JJ suffer zombie bites, and both of them request help from headquarters. To their shock, they are ordered to eliminate everyone, including allies who have been bitten and infected. Dylan is at first reluctant to do this, but JJ carries on with the process. In this whole mess, JJ ends up getting bitten as well, and it is now up to Dylan to kill his own best friend in order to survive. Dylan does ultimately complete the task, badgering JJ's head with a heavy object continuously. However, this guilt of having killed his best friend haunts him forever and greatly influences his future course of actions. Orca with an advanced strain of T-virus. A disfigured and bitten orca washes up ashore, and Claire goes there to investigate. She deduces that the bite marks on the orca are too large and irregular to have come from some sort of unnatural predator. The 12 mysterious cases of T-virus infection that were plaguing the city had a connection with this dead orca. Each of them was infected by an advanced form of the T-virus, which could not be transmitted through air or saliva. Zombie civilians. Zombie civilians can be seen when Jill goes looking for survivors in a bioweapons facility. She goes in without backup and comes upon a dead, mutilated woman sprawled across the floor. All of a sudden, she gets attacked by a civilian zombie and gets into an intense tussle with him before shooting him dead with 3 straight bullets. The team of Chris, Claire, Jill, and Rebecca found that of 12 such cases of infection, all of them had inside them an improved version of the T-virus, and all of them had visited Alcatraz recently. The dead orca was also infected with this very same strain of T-virus. Following this, the team visits Alcatraz prison to look for clues on this new strain of T-virus. Suddenly, as tourists are exploring the cells of the prison and having fun, one of them turns hostile and starts biting people. Chris shoots him dead, but more people start transforming into zombies, seemingly through an unknown mechanism. Chris and Claire try barricading off the zombies, but more and more humans keep mutating, without the team being able to figure out how exactly the T-virus keeps spreading.
Get him.
Amphibious lickers. Lickers in this movie are terrifying creatures emerging out of the water, lacking eyes or skin, but with their gigantic brains exposed. They have a bulging muscular structure and disgustingly long tongues, using which they can drag a target towards themselves. While exploring a dark tunnel under Alcatraz, Leon and Jill run into a large number of these lickers, having a challenging battle with them before killing them off with explosives. They also serve as hosts during the incubation of biodrones that Blake wants to use to take over the world. Biodrones. The villain Dylan Blake is successfully able to kidnap a famed robotics engineer, Taylor, and force him to do research on and build biological drones that Blake could order to infect anyone as he pleases. These minuscule mosquito-like creatures were incubated inside of lickers and released into the world as part of Blake's master plan, being able to inject the T-virus inside whichever target he pleased. Thanks to a backdoor in the network left due to Dr. Taylor, Rebecca is successfully able to use these very drones to chemically overload mutant Blake's behemothly mutated stage with the T-virus and ultimately defeat him. Maria Gomez. Maria's father, Diego Gomez, was a genetically enhanced human who served as a bodyguard for the villain, Arius. She was an ordinary human until she was embroiled in a government-ordered smart bomb explosion. Most people in that bombing scenario died, but Maria lived on, losing her right eye in the process. Maria swore revenge on the world and underwent unspecified experimentations, receiving both physical and mental enhancements. Maria has some extreme skills in stealth, strength, as well as speed. She manages to beat Leon during a motorcycle battle, blaming Leon for her father's death. In the new movie, she gets into a complicated and climactic tussle with Leon towards the end using a metal rod, but is herself impaled by that very rod. She was known to be cold and frosty, and only showed any emotion when it concerned Diego or Arius. Normal Dylan Blake. Dylan Blake was once an honest officer, a mercenary who was recruited to assist the Umbrella Security Services as well as government officials during the Raccoon City destruction incident. After he was forced to murder his best friend, Dylan would become a bioterrorist, planning to reorganize society through the T-virus and establish a proper sense of justice, punishing those who were corrupt and greedy. He releases his biodrones on unsuspecting tourists at Alcatraz and watches them tear each other apart. His vision is to cleanse the world of evil, and he points out the hypocrisy of the justice that Chris, Claire, and the others are fighting for. Blake infects everyone with his biodrones, but spares Jill, forcing her to relive the same dilemma that he had to face, whether or not to kill a close friend, Claire, in order to protect the innocent, Dr. Taylor. Ultimately, Jill is unable to make the choice, and Blake makes the choice for her by shooting the doctor. Mutated Dylan Blake. Dylan opens the floodgates and summons the shark-like bioweapon known as Megalodon. For one last time, he laments having had to kill his best friend, and then injects himself with the T-virus. He then falls into the water, allowing the Megalodon to eat him, assimilating into a hideous and mighty towering foe that the team must battle and defeat. During this extremely challenging battle, the monster has the upper hand, but Jill is somehow able to find a powerful plasma rifle generating heat up to 20,000 degrees, and she uses it. Despite this, the creature survives. Before she can charge up and fire again, mutated Dylan attacks her and destroys the weapon. Thankfully, in these moments of distraction, Chris and Leon are able to assemble together an artillery missile launcher, while Jill attaches a bag of grenades to it. They fire the missile at the gate's release mechanism, dropping the gate and pinning down mutated Dylan. Unable to move, this monster is blown to pieces upon the explosion of grenades that Jill had attached. Marvelous verdict. The themes explored in this movie are quite interesting. What is the nature of good and evil? Is there really something called justice? During the time of the dinosaurs, who were the good guys and who were the bad guys? In a food chain, can the actions of creatures really be deemed morally evil? All these complex questions are explored, especially from Dylan's point of view, without any satisfactory answer. In the movie, the good guys are also revealed to be somewhat hypocrites, which they themselves realize. They are just the pawns of the rich and powerful, who will use them mercilessly and without remorse for their own gains. Although the movie offers no solutions, it makes the viewer wonder how the protagonists will change their behavior and actions based on this memorable incident. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone. Till next time, Marvelous fans.